Welcome back everyone. If you're new, welcome to the channel. So today we're going to be taking a look at how we can use structure to basically identify sentiment in the market and to look for trading opportunities. So let's jump straight into it, taking a look at pound US dollar on the 30-minute time frame. But like I always say guys, this applies for every single time frame, okay? Structure is structure. So what can we see and what is this market clearly showing us? We can clearly see that right now this market is ranging. We're going sideways. Neither buyer or seller is in control. So what we want to do, and the idea behind this is simply using structural highs and structural lows to identify market sentiment to look for trading opportunities. So it's really quite simple, right? What we want to do is we want to simply mark our structural highs. This being the structural highs, this is the highest point where price has got to and then been rejected. We then want to mark our structural lows, okay? So this doesn't matter whether the market's ranging or whatever the market's doing. Mark your structural highs and mark your structural lows. This will then help you to basically identify who is in control once we see the break of either low or either high. So obviously we can clearly see, looking at recent price action, we're ranging. Price has been bullish, so really we want to remain with a bullish bias, okay? But right now we're neutral. We're neutral because we're not seeing new higher highs being made or new lower lows being made, so neither buyer or seller is in control. So basically what we're doing is we're waiting for a break of either structure. Like I said, we're either waiting for the price to break the structural high, which is this is the structural high, or break the structural low. So the scenario is going to simply look like this. We're either going to wait for price to push down, retest, and then target some previous lows, or we're going to wait for price to break above, break out, close above. It's important that price closes either above or below and you don't get caught on any fake outs. And then wait for price to retest and then look for the continuation, of course targeting previous or recent structure. So what we're doing is we're simply waiting for price to break out, okay? We want to make sure we see a clean, strong break above and making sure that we're not getting caught in any fake outs. So just some advice for you guys. Make sure that you're seeing whatever time frame you're trading, whether if you're trading the higher time frames, it's going to be okay for you. You don't have to worry too much about this. It's more the lower time frames and being caught on fake outs. So if you're trading, if you're like me and you're trading the 15 or the 5 or even the 30, like this example, make sure that you can see the 1 hour or the 4 hour closing above the structural high or the structural low, whatever area or key level in the market you are trading from. So we can clearly see price is starting to push out. But this here isn't enough confluence, okay? Price could simply create these wick rejections and then pull back in. What we want to see is a strong break above and see a strong push away from this level, okay? And that is what we can clearly see. And if we were looking for the downside movement, or if price did do this on the downside or on the structural low, again, we'll be simply looking for a strong push out of the structural low and then look for the retest. So now we have seen a strong push out of the structural high. This is indicating to us that the buyers are in control of price movement, okay? If price was going to go any lower, or if the sellers were in control, price would not be pushing like this. We would be seeing price, like I said, we'd be seeing obviously price coming down, pushing below, and then we'll be looking for the retest. But what we're seeing is price pushing out of the structural high, again indicating to us strong bullish sentiment. So if we know price is in an uptrend now, of course this makes sense as we need to see new higher highs when trading the uptrend. But of course I've always said when we're trading we want to make sure that we're not entering on the push phase, and this is the push phase here, okay? This is price pushing up and this is the worst place we want to be entering. We want to be entering at the end of the exhaustion. So you guys can probably guess it, but what we want to see now is we want to simply see price pull back. And this is what a lot of traders struggle with. I used to struggle with this as well. It's having the patience to actually wait and wait to see that exhaustion and wait to see price actually then pull back to the structural high or just to the key level. The structural high is the structure, the key level being the same sort of thing, they're the same concept. But what we're doing is we can see the break indicating to us strong bullish sentiment. So we're looking for buys now, but we're in a push phase. We want to be making sure that we wait for price to pull back, create the pullback, create the exhaustion, whatever you want to call it, and then we look for the entry. So let's see how price plays out and how price pulls back to this structural high or key level. So it really is just about being patient and waiting for the confluences, okay? So price has pulled back. We haven't had price pull directly back to these highs, but price has pulled back, and what we're starting to see is price creating wick rejections and then momentum shifting candles in the direction of the trend that we are trading. That's what you want to be identifying. You want to be making sure that before you take the trade at the end of the pullback, that what you can see wick rejections, and then you can see strong momentum shifting candles in the direction of the trend that you are trading. Don't just trade or look for buys when price is pulling back. You want to see the confirmation candles, which are these, the momentum shifting candles, which will indicate to us that the buyers are now taking control of price again, and that we can potentially look for a trading opportunity. So simply, just to add up the confluences, what have we seen? We've seen that price was ranging. We were neither going, nor buyer or seller was in control. We then were waiting patiently. It's really important in trading that we wait patiently and we wait for the price action to indicate to us, or to basically just show us who is in control of price movement. We then saw the break of the key level, and in the lower time frames there would have been a first smaller lower time frame retest that we could have looked for. But when on the slightly higher time frames, or when price does break a key level, realistically you want to wait for the big push out to indicate that we have broken this structure and that we are heading in the direction of the break. And then we've seen the second retest, okay? Or in this example, just to make it simple for you guys, we have seen the first retest, okay? We've seen that price has broken bullish out this key level, indicating strong buy sentiment. We've then pulled back. We've got multiple wick rejections in the area. We've got strong momentum shifting candles. We can then look to take the trade, okay? We can obviously enter on this candle with our stop below recent wicks, and then what we can do is then target previous highs. As you can see here, I've got it all written out. Previous highs being the previous highs from past price action, okay? We can see that price has reacted here, and this can be our first target. But you want to always make sure that you can at least get a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, and if we targeted these highs, we just miss it, but we're going to make our stop loss a little bit tighter, and we're going to take the trade. So let's take this trade and see how price played out. We can see that price broke previous highs. We retested the structural highs. We then saw wick rejections, momentum shifting candles, and we then targeted previous highs, and this is exactly where price went to. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, leave me a comment, leave me a thumbs up, just so I know that it's bringing value. But I enjoyed making this one, but I hope you guys are having a good week. I'll see you lot in the next one.